time I found the Blackstone name in the old Cherokee books, I found the name of Bushy.
Yeah. Well, then too, not only him, but the whole Cherokee tribe in Oklahoma. You can go up in Oklahoma today, and you can find the Cherokee Nation, and all of them are light-complected and tall, slim, well-built people. You don't see no little dark, swarthy, Mexican-looking Indians among the Cherokees. The Cherokees were the lightest race of Indians there were. But still, whenever this all happened, and his mother disappeared or whatever she wanted to do, he told me that she married a man by the name of Evans later, and that her and Evans moved to Colorado. And then he never did say when his mother died. And my mom claims that this, either his foster mother or his real mother, or whatever this was, lived till 1907, and that she got a letter from somebody telling her that she passed away in 1907. Did you ever hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, 1907, you was born in 1906.
Did you know where was she? Where did she pass away?
Well,
no, I was born in 1907.
1906.
No, Mama didn't get married till 1906.
No, you've been reading that book that they got mixed up, Jesse. You're 1906. You forgot?
No, I've always had 1907.
Well, how come me born 1908 and you 1906?
Well, you're only 18 months. It's only 18 months apart.
All right, get your pen here and figure it out.
Not on video here. She's done. She's got that.
Did you?
We'll check it later.
Yeah, okay.
When you were looking, Alice, did you find that the Blackstone name wasn't always spelled like it's spelled now?
BLXCKSKON.
Yes, and then there's another
As a
way.
matter of fact, where they said they looked up so-and-so in a certain library, and then they found this was the same man, but he had added an E or took away an E.
Yes, yes. Well, and another thing, whoever took the census, maybe they didn't have very good education. And when they took the census at the Blackstones, they didn't pronounce it just like he picked it up. And he would write it just however he thought it would.
Let me ask you something, Liz. Now, Papa, you know, you said your grandmother said she only went to the 3rd grade, and she couldn't write. Well, I wonder why it was that Papa, I don't know what grade he went to. He never did tell me.
He didn't say no.
But he could write and
Could he read and write?
Read and write. He wrote real pretty and real good, and he could spell.
Well,
He helped me with my spelling.
He was forced to school. He was put into boarding school. And he used to tell me about the boarding school. He called it a boarding school. But if this thing is kind of halfway like I think it is, well, he got into something and was kind of unruly, and he was put into a reform school.
You think so?
I think it was a reform school.
Well, I don't think it was a reform school because Daddy said that they sent him and his sister both to school. And his sister was far advanced than what he was, but she wanted him to go to school and learn how the world got along.
Here's another
But
version.
he said he didn't study very hard.
Here's another version of that, though. The Indian schools in Oklahoma, at that time, there weren't boys and girls in the school. There were girls' school or there were boys' school. So he was in a reform school in the boys' school, and he didn't go to school with girls. He went to school with boys. And when he got big enough to break out of that boarding school, he called it boarding school. When he got big enough to break out of there and run away and go to Aunt Annie, well, she was married then. She's 8 years older than he is, so she was married, and he run away and went to her place and stayed with her until he got big enough to go out and do odd jobs and be on his own, yeah.
Well, I don't know, but he came to Grandma's one time, and Grandpa Freund had some prize Leghorn chickens. He had ribbons for those chickens. And he was so proud of them. He had a pin for them, and he showed them every so often. Well, your dad showed up one day with his chicken all wrapped up, with his head sticking out, and it was a fighting rooster. And he had spurs on its legs. And he came in late, and he didn't know what to do with the chicken, so he threw it over the fence with Grandpa's prize Leghorns. And that rooster killed every one of them. Oh, Grandpa run him off, your dad off. And that's why your dad wasn't around too much, your grandma's.
Well, did your dad tell you what he did when he left that Eddie's house?
No, he didn't say. The first job that he had that I knew anything about was with this old Bushyhead. When he was 15 years old, he was working for Bushyhead, this Indian chief. And he told me the details of what he done, and he didn't say how long he stayed with the man. But at the same time, he was in the same community that Clem Rogers lived in. And he knew all about Will Rogers and Clem Rogers. Will was 6 years younger than Papa was. And they lived in the same community, and Papa was supposed to work also for Clem Rogers as well as the old Bushyhead. Now, whether he worked for Rogers first and then Bushyhead later, I never did get that straight. But he worked for both of them and knew them real well. And he said that when Clem was 6 years old or 7 years old or something like that, it would have made my dad about 12 or 13 years old, according to the way the ages were. And that him and the cowboys used to hold Will Rogers up or help him hold a pistol up to shoot the holes out of that railroad sign at Ooligaw, Oklahoma. Ooligaw Switch, Oklahoma was on Clem Rogers' place. And they learned Will Rogers to shoot the six-shooter by helping him hold the six-shooter on that sign and shoot the holes out of the O's, see. And along about that time when he was working for Bushyhead, was when I went and got all this information out of the library on Bushyhead, and come to find out that the things that he told me that he read the paper to Bushyhead by the firelight at night, or by the lamplight, and then he'd get in the wooden kindling for him and milk the cows and feed the horses and done chores around the house. Now, how long he done that, I don't know, but that was his job. And in this literature that I got from the library, there was a picture of Bushyhead, a bust picture from here up. And it was a real nice picture. He was dressed up in a dress shirt and tie and all that, his hair combed nice. And he was a light complected man, real nice looking man. He looked like any Irish immigrant fellow you'd ever saw. And he showed
he was an Indian chief, right?
But he was an Indian chief.
But there was some years, seems like, that between,
So
excuse me,